Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You want to mention our great friends over there at superinterns.com and also the great folks at houstonjewelry.com, all of them making this show possible. We appreciate the great work they do and their contributions to this program. As the listener might know, I've been doing a series of interviews about Inc. 5000 companies, and particularly with ones that are in the small business space, because I think that can be really inspirational and aspirational to the listener out there. And today we're going to talk a little bit about a company called Pro Title USA. That's Pro Title USA, and looking forward to that conversation with the owner. And Alex, we're delighted to have you on the program. Alex Goldovsky, how are you today?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
You bet. And your website, protitleiusa.com, correct?
That's correct.
Tell us, kind of give us an overview of what you do.
Sure. My company, Pro Title USA, is really a leader in a nationwide title search and title analysis and due diligence for both residential and commercial assets. So that includes the mortgages, that includes the assets that are being sold on the debt market, as well as REO properties, as well as properties that are needed for the insurance companies to receive claims. So that's the market that we're servicing.
And how old is your company?
Well, we are 9 years old now. I started in 2007, and I was a part of the title company, local title company in Pennsylvania, and I decided to go nationwide for the title research market. And from that point on, it just grew exponentially, and we are one of the leaders of the market today.
So what are your typical clients? You know, and back in the 80s, for a short period of time between jobs. It's a great job. I loved it. I just couldn't make enough money. I did title examining work. It was just kind of the thing I did between gigs. I loved the work, and I loved it when I caught something that was really going to hurt the future buyer. You know, I love, in that title search, you find that lien, you find that issue. That's an extremely important thing. Is your client the potential buyer, or is your client the title company like I work for, who just wants to fast track the process? Obviously, it was way more primitive when I did it back in the 80s. I literally had to go to county courthouses, had to go through files and that type of thing in order to get information. Tell us exactly who your clientele is.
Well, let me tell you about how everything came about first, and then jump on the client next. When I started, I really wanted to merge the technology and automation with the title expertise and real estate expertise that I had, and create something that nobody had in the market. As you mentioned before, in the old times, you would go to the courthouse, you would have to do research by hand in old books, you would have to find liens, mortgages, judgments. And my goal when I opened the company was to automate that service. So my vision was to build an abstract layer across the whole United States. No matter where you point your finger, no matter to which property you point your finger, we would come up with the report that would look the same to our end client. And our end clients are typically lenders, investors, Wall Street hedge funds, foreclosure, or any foreclosure attorneys. All of them need the analyzed data presented in a format where they understand and can easily be analyzed.
Yeah, very good, very good. And so your clients are both, are they often the businesses who are doing preliminary work, or you work directly with title companies? Tell us about that.
Oh, absolutely. We have a real big variety of clients. Title companies, insurance companies, lenders analyzing their portfolios, but majority of our market is really servicing the debt. In other words, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FDIC, when they securitized the loans or when they back the loans up, they then sell the mortgages to the secondary markets, and we end up creating the reports that analyze how healthy the portfolios are when they're sold to the Wall Street or to the banks, or when the lender sells the portfolio to another lender. That's when we get involved. That's the majority of our market today.
Yeah, very good, very good. So how many times have you been in Inc. 5000?
Well, that's our first time, but I'm sure that we'll make the Inc. 5000 this year again. Our volume and our revenue grew pretty much 45% year over year. We're exploding from the perspective of the growth. We opened a new center in Tucson, Arizona. We right now have 4 centers altogether where we do research, and about 1,500 people on the ground to cover us nationwide.
Very good. Is there? Do you have competition?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I look around, and I already mentioned it, there's a standard old-fashioned companies that are really been in the business for a long time. First American, Stewart, T-Core, Old Republic. Those companies were built to do closings and refis. And in this market, we know that the credit is tough to get, right? So there's not a lot of refis. We know that there's not a lot of sales, and the real estate market is really don't have enough inventory for foreclosures. So the company like ours is really advancing and creating a market space on the actual debt trades. Okay, so we are much faster than a standard title company, and therefore some of the standard companies do use us just because we're so unique, we're so fast, and we don't have the same type of company as our competitor. We're very, very unique from that perspective.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, we got to wrap it up. Delighted to have you with us today on the program. Final thoughts?
Well, I think my advice to folks that listen to your show is, if you have a business idea, if you want to succeed, it doesn't matter which market. You just have to create a vision. And for me personally, one thing that I wanted to kind of drive to your audience, Google is the greatest equalizer for any e-commerce. It doesn't matter if you're competing against Walmart or Macy's or anybody. A company of one would compete against the company of thousands. Mm-hmm. And this thought is really helped me throughout the years to get business and to succeed in business.
Very good. Thanks so much for being with us. Your website before I let you go.
ProTitleUSA.com.
When we come back, we're going to have more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here, including this interview, will be found over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter, and this is The Price of Business.